Matt Jolly, right here on Georgia Radio.
Well, it's always great when friends stop by, especially friends like William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys, and just so much more. Mr. Golden, thanks for coming on the show. Great to have you on.
Matt, thank you for letting me be on here.
It's just wonderful to get to talk to you. You are dabbling in something called songwriting now at the tender age of 85, and I got to tell you, this is just a terrific piece of art. I was talking to Danny earlier, and I've Got My Heart on You, a song that really tugs at the heartstrings, and it's just a wonderful work.
Matt, you're so kind, and to hear you say that, man, I appreciate that so much. It is my first song that I've written, and it was, it took a whole weekend to get all of that out of me. I was, my youngest son, Solomon, his mother and I got a divorce, and when he was about 11 or 12, I guess, and approaching his adolescence, and it was heart-wrenching. So, but I'm, when you live and you make a commitment in life and you follow your visions and your aspirations and your dreams, it takes making commitments and sometimes making long-term commitments, and you got to look ahead. But in booking dates and being an absentee husband and a father for 150 days a year, every year for a lot of years, it has, some families are strong and committed and endure that. And sometimes it's accept responsibility, and it's my fault. I've been unfaithful to some of my wives, and anyhow, it has its consequences too. Recorded a song back, I guess, in the late 70s, early 80s, Trying to Love Two Women is Like a Ball and Chain. It's a song Sonny Throckmorton wrote, but it was basically kind of telling my life story at that time. So that's kind of how music is, It's like I've said, with my fourth wife, but I was going through a divorce, and my young son, Solomon, was pulled away from me, and then she moved to Austin, and that was heart-wrenching to be pulled where when you are home, you can't see your young son that you were so attached to, and that what was the love of your life, that was my whole world, basically. And I got into art, painting pictures, landscape stuff, because of having something, being inspired by my young son and my wife at the time, doing things to leave something for your child after you're gone, something that can stay around for a while. But I was here alone, and Solomon was moved to Texas, and like I said, he was 11, 12, 13 when we were divorced and being pulled out there in his teenage years, and it was heart-wrenching, man. And I remarried, and my wife, Simone, she had gone to Tulsa to visit her daughter and granddaughter, young granddaughter at that time, and I was here at home alone, and I was going through emotional time, reflecting back on Solomon's childhood from infancy and the things that we had all done together. So it was, I got real emotional, crying and out on the back patio by myself. And I got to, moaning and groaning, and then all this stuff started, these words started. I wanted to get my heart out to him because I'd been trying to text him and call him, and I was getting no answers. But I wanted to share my feelings. Started singing this song, and the melodies started coming with my feelings, because that was, anyhow, I was reflecting back on it. And from his infancy through the things we had done together. We would travel together, take them on. When I was on vacation, we'd go places, go to Europe, go down to the Virgin Islands in the winter, different things like that. We'd have a couple of weeks every year, and we'd go places. And so I was reflecting on all of that, and I started singing about it and putting it in form that I'm talking to him. And I was telling my best friend out in L.A., Jeff Panzer, about it, was talking on the phone and sharing my feelings. And he told me, said, man, you need to, I want to hear it. And a few days later, we'd be talking. He'd say, would you ever get that song you talk about you written? No, I hadn't put it down yet because, I needed a musician here to help me do all that. But anyhow, so he, after 6 or 8 months there, maybe a year, he told me, said, man, you need to get that out of you, Said, why don't you just put it on sing it into your phone, on your voice out there, and then send it to me. Said, I'll get Danny Stefanati to help. We know Danny, and she's an incredible talent, young girl that is just, she'll be a superstar. I mean, she is. She's got all the talent and the personality, and she glows. There's a light in her that shines everywhere she's at. And anyhow, she took this and helped me put it together. And she helped me to repeat one of my first lines in the chorus. It needed to be repeated, the line, because it was better than the second line. And and it's kind of the same thing with the bridge that needed.
Sure. It is out. We've got to quick link it into the show story so everybody can go and download it. But I've got to ask you, because we just have a couple of moments left here before I know you've got to bounce on to the next call. But people buried gold in your home way back. Are we going to find someday songs stuffed in faraway places? Because I think you really have a talent with this. I hope years from now we do.
There was gold found here. It was all predated gold coins that had been buried before the Civil War. And I don't know, man. It's kind of made me want to get some other. There's been 2 or 3 other songs that's kind of been going over in my mind that I'd kind of want on this completely different song, completely different feel and everything else. Sure. But well, I don't know. I need to get to them and finish them.
There you go. Well, look, when you get them done, come on and talk to us. I'd love to have you on when you have more time. But listen, William Lee Golden.
Anytime, man. I'm always got time for you. So.
Well, thank you for coming on, sir. Great to hear your voice, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
Georgia Radio. Good company and great country.